accept the controversial takeover offer. Meanwhile, Musk, of course, is as usual Twitter happy. Tell us how this news is going down with US investors.
That's right. It's pretty extraordinary every time Elon Musk is involved in any form of investment, Priyanka. Even his staunchest critics on Wall Street seem to get somewhat excited. I'm standing outside the New York Stock Exchange right now, where Wall Street and other investors are anticipating the news on whether or not Elon Musk would come up with a deal with Twitter or not. You know, this does matter to a certain extent because this deal would sure to be criticized by those who really are not a favor of Elon Musk's somewhat lazy affair views on content media moderation on Twitter, and also those who cheer Musk's approach. They think that he would sort of open Twitter up to more free speech. This would probably be an exaggeration on both sides. But on the other hand, you know, as you mentioned, Wall Street is definitely reacting. We probably won't hear a final answer until later on in the afternoon, just because Twitter, for its part, perhaps is riding this wave of these higher numbers and higher shares. I do want to say the last time that Twitter hit $54.20 a share, and that is Musk's offer, was back in November 2021, and it still hasn't hit that share, but it's higher than it's ever been. Right. It's at $50.99, and that's as close as that it has been. So Twitter is probably going to ride this high share, and it's probably going to make an announcement later on in the afternoon, and we'll have to see whether or not they reach an agreement. They're still teasing that anything could happen, but we'll have to wait and see. There are still a lot of questions remaining. And remember, Jack Dorsey, one big question is whether or not he'll roll over his shares or not. You know, what's going to happen with him.
Susan, just moving apart from the business side of things, this is big news for all of us. Twitter is a massive platform. And in fact, Musk was a big critic of Twitter. He said that it curbs free speech, but there's been plenty of criticism about him owning Twitter as well, saying that one man, such a powerful personality who has such divergent, polarizing views sometimes, owning Twitter isn't a great thing either for free speech at large. So what's your take on that?
Right, exactly. You know, that's one of the things that has been really dominating the conversation, and it just shows that how really there's an appetite for change on the one side, that they've sort of made Elon Musk this sort of hero of free speech, and there's this hope on one side that Elon Musk is sort of going to come with his magic wand and really be the savior of free speech on the one hand, and then you have the other side that's really backfiring on somehow Elon Musk is going to be this kind of person that's going to come and take away all the power that perhaps people who had been sort of shadow banning the others will sort of not have that power anymore. And it's a very curious conversation that we're seeing right now. Again, it seems like both sides are really overreacting. It seems like an overreaction, but there are serious questions that still need to be answered. And those questions are, will Elon Musk have any equity partners? Again, will Jack Dorsey play a role? Does it matter, for example, that Elon Musk himself violated SEC rules in the timing of his initial disclosure of Twitter share purchases? And for example, for those that have many Twitter followers, right, will they lose those followers because they were bots? So,
absolutely.
You know,
I think that is something that everybody would want to know. This is turning out to be quite an interesting story, and we'll continue to track it and all the updates. Thanks for joining us on WION at this hour.
Merci.
Sportsman of the Year, Verstappen clinched his maiden Formula One.
Netanyahu has made no mention of any halt to the offensive.
That our two countries engage in a meaningful manner in taking actions against terror groups on their